From his first appearance as Leroy Jethro Gibbs in 2003 to announcing his departure from NCIS after 20 years on the show, Mark Harmon's Gibbs quite literally made NCIS the cultural phenomenon that it is today. And everyone thought he'd play the role until the day he died. I know I did, at least. But Harmon's gone now, and all we have left is the memory of television's assertive yet fatherly detective. As it turns out, though, Harmon was just as much of a father figure to his co-stars as Gibbs was to his team. In a way, you could say that Gibbs was the patriarch of the crime investigative service. Harmon extended that fatherly role off-screen as well. Coti Di Pablo, who played Ziva David from seasons 3 through 11, called Harmon a friend mentor. She said that Gibbs and David shared somewhat of a father-daughter bond on screen, but that she and Harmon had the same sort of relationship off-screen too. Granted, it wasn't as strong as she would have liked for it to be, but Harmon wasn't really known for being overly affectionate. Mike Weatherly never seemed to break through his cold exterior, but Weatherly said Harmon gave him good advice for his role in Bull. The actor played Tony DiNozzo on NCIS for 13 seasons. This means he starred alongside Harmon on the show for well over a decade as a series regular. And even though Weatherly had nothing but positive things to say about Harmon, he did admit to the fact that the two were poles apart. In fact, Weatherly said that Harmon would be the North Pole to his Antarctica, so literally poles apart. He claimed that Harmon was confused with his energy from the get-go. Even though the two didn't end up being the best of friends, he went on to say that Harmon helped him prep for his upcoming lead role in Bull when he was about to depart NCIS. And on the actor's last day on set, Harmon came up to him and kept his goodbye short but sweet. Thank you and good luck. Harmon's always been a man of a few words, but that doesn't mean he doesn't leave a lasting impression wherever he goes. Even Sean Murray remembered the impression he'd left on him 10 years after the fact. With Harmon's departure from the show, Murray now becomes the longest-reigning star on NCIS. His character Timothy McGee has seen it all with Leroy Gibbs. You could call them best friends. But off-screen, Murray's always referred to Harmon as more of a mentor. In fact, he still remembers the first time the two met on the set, 30 years ago. Yup, I'm talking about before the two starred on NCIS. They starred on Hearts of the West. Murray said that he and Harmon actually had quite a few scenes together, and in between takes, the two would talk about their crafts and their shared interests, and Harmon would always offer up a bit of advice. Their brief but meaningful encounter 10 years before NCIS's first episode left a lasting impression on Murray, who was pretty devastated when Harmon announced his decision to depart from the show. It was a lot to take in, I know. Those aren't my words. They're coming straight from the president of CBS Entertainment. Kelly Call says they'll just have to see how things work out. Why did Mark Harmon leave NCIS? It was, after all, Leroy Gibbs' show, and I stand by that sentiment. The truth is, Harmon had been wanting to take a step back for quite a while. He even asked the showrunners to demote his character from a lead role to a recurring role, and now, rumor has it, he's ready to pass on the torch. Probably to Murray. In any event, news of his departure didn't come easy. Fans were confused, sad, in denial, all 5 stages of grief. CBS Entertainment's president Kelly Call had to reassure everyone that the show will move on, even if Gibbs wasn't a part of it anymore. She did, however, hint at the fact that this might not be the complete end. Harmon's departure from the show was written in as Gibbs' decision to relocate to Alaska to lead a calm and peaceful life. And even though he told McGee he wouldn't be coming back, Call has hinted at the fact that Harmon might return for a few special episodes of the show. Fingers crossed. Another person who will probably miss Gibbs on screen just as much as she would working with Harmon is none other than Harmon's wife, Pam Dawber. The actress said that Harmon was genuine and great in the way he treated his co-stars. Okay, so Harmon is known for being an overall great guy to work with. That's been established already. But he might have played favorites here. After all, he's been married to Pam Dawber for over 30 years. Dawber came on the show as investigative journalist Marcy Warren in seasons 18 and 19. She said that her husband was very supportive of her on set. According to Dauber, Harmon gave her a lot of "atta-girls" and showered her with encouragement. She also said that she saw a whole new side of her husband when the two were working together. The actress said that Harmon's ego did not extend into his work, and he was a great guy to everybody on set. But there might just be one person who doesn't see the veteran actor in the same light as everyone else. Things between Harmon and Polly Perrette got so bad that the role of Abby had to be recast. The actress killed it as Abby Shuto on NCIS for 15 years. She was arguably a fan-favorite character. This is why everyone was confused when Perrette announced that she'd be departing from the show. Rumors started flying about that her departure was actually because of a conflict between her and Mark Harmon. Now, on-screen, Gibbs and Abby shared a pretty close friendship, but off-screen, the two of them couldn't get along. And it all started when Harmon brought his dog on set one day, and the dog ended up biting a crew member, who required 15 stitches. Harmon reportedly apologized to the crew member and even paid their medical bills, but continued to bring the dog on set. At that point, Harmon had also been working as an executive producer on NCIS. This is why, allegedly, many people were afraid of asking him to keep his dog at home. Everyone, that is, except Perrette, who told Harmon that his dog had been making everyone uncomfortable. Things didn't go so swell. Reportedly, Harmon and Perrette got into such a nasty argument that they refused to film on the same days as one another. Harmon would shoot his scenes one day and Perrette would come on another. The show still managed to pull through despite their nasty fight, but Perrette would later depart from the show claiming it had gotten unbearable. She even posted a series of cryptic tweets later on, claiming that a machine had been feeding lies about her to the media. Brian Dietzen, however, doesn't echo the same concerns as her. Dietzen said Harmon made the show a great place to work for 20 years. The actor has played Jimmy Palmer on the series alongside Harmon's Gibbs for over 2 decades. And he said that it'd be a massive change for everyone now with Harmon gone. However, he also said that on a personal note, he was happy to have called the veteran actor a friend and mentor for so long. Dietzen claimed that many actors had come and gone since 2003, but Harmon was always seen as somewhat of a permanent fixture. This is why his decision to retire from the role after so long came as a shock to so many people. His co-stars couldn't believe it, and reportedly many of them even tried convincing him to stay. But Harmon wanted to take a break after being on screen since the 1970s. Dietzen went as far as saying that Harmon had been the one carrying the show on his back since season 1. I agree with that, actually. And that's all on how Mark Harmon's co-stars really felt about him.